We're talking defense, and nobody better to talk about this year's defense maybe than friend of the show, Jeff Highland. Jeff, what's up, dude?
Hey, Justin. Hey, Rob. How are y'all?
Hey, Jeff. Doing well. How about you?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. It's time of year I love, brother. I'm sure y'all feel the same way.
Yes, Rob's jealous because he feels like you're going to take his spot a couple weeks ago. He's trying to up his game now.
Hey, I tell you what, Rob, we missed you, brother. I always enjoyed being on with you, but I can't blame you for going to the beach. I'm gonna try to do that myself here before we get to September 1st in the Atlanta Dome.
I hear you. Can never do that enough.
No, I've been listening to the show, and as I do every week, or if I can't do that, I listen to the podcast on iTunes, which is pretty cool. You can just sit there at work and do it. So y'all
Yep.
come a long way, and y'all are doing a great job, and I really enjoy the show. And Justin, you do such a good job on recruiting, and I'm not buttering up to you, but you work hard at it. And you people ought to appreciate that because you put a lot of passion, and it's important to you to do a good job and be thorough. And Rob, of course, it's always nice to hear a former player's perspective. I identify with that, having coached and played myself, and you look at it differently than most folks do, and that doesn't mean it's better or worse. You just do, and that perspective is always appreciated.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, man. What do you think about the defensive conversation we were having about the philosophies and of Roof and Van Gorder? How this might be different? What do you think might be a big difference this year if you had to pick one, maybe a key difference?
Well, y'all are gonna accuse me of coach speak here. I don't like to, we won 30 games in the last 3 years, and, including the national championship and the SEC championship. And obviously somewhere along the way we played pretty good defense, particularly in 10. But, certainly there are clearly some differences in philosophy and how they're going about fitting this thing together. And, there's plenty of criticism out there for what we were doing last year and beyond. And, people, I think the Auburn folks wanted something a little different. And I understand that because the results weren't very good last year. And, I'm not a guy I'm just not a guy that worries about that because it is what it is. It's in the past and we can't do a darn thing to change it. What we can do is look forward to the future and appreciate, Coach Chiswick and those guys hiring a qualified, coordinator like Brian Van Gorder. I honestly, as honest a statement as I could possibly make. I don't know how we could have hired anybody better. I mean, the guy's just fantastic to be around. He's a player's coach. But he's very demanding, and he just has, such a, from an X and O standpoint, it's all about getting lined up and all, and all of those things. And I don't want to go into a bunch of X and O talk, but at the end of the day, he wants to play on the other side of the ball. And that's a simple statement, and it sounds so easy, and you and I both know that it's not. But he wants to attack, play downhill, and disguise coverages, do all the things that the NFL does that makes it so complex at that level. And that's what is taking this so long to be put in place is just the complexity of the defense. But then once that's in and ingrained as a habit, we're going to play downhill and we're going to attack the football. And I think Auburn folks are looking forward to that. I know that I am.
What is Jake saying about the mental responsibilities of the linebackers in this defense? I know that they're being asked to handle a lot of the checks, a lot of the assignments pre-snap, and that's been concerning to Coach Van Gorder in these first couple of practices. And he wants to see more carryover from the classroom onto the practice field. What's Jake saying about, is this more pre-snap problems, or is this more assignment after the snap, and is it correctable?
It's correctable. I think the thing that's frustrating for Jake, and I'll just speak about him because I'm not going to talk about any other players. Right. But, listen, Rob, I'll be frank with you. His head's swimming right now. There's no doubt about it. They're putting in a new package every day. They're trying to install. I remember you played for Coach Oliver, and I remember Coach Oliver, and I know Coach Oliver, and I remember him talking about August, and his philosophy was to put everything that he had in his playbook in early August, and then start tuning it down toward the end of August as you get prepared to play somebody you game plan for that opponent.
Right.
And, Coach Van Gorder is doing the same thing, in my view. And, Jake, for instance, is an incoming junior. But you know what? He might as well be a freshman, other than he's played some ball and he's used to Auburn, and he's comfortable in Auburn and going through that routine. But in terms of the scheme, it's all new to him, and the lingo and all of those things. And spring was one thing, but Rob, the pace they've picked it up at now is they're literally putting in a package a day. And just as soon as you get corrected on the package from yesterday, you got a new one to work on the next day. And then they throw different situations at you, and you got to learn to adjust to them. So what they're really doing is they're just throwing so much at them and seeing who can digest that, who can correct on the go, who can make the least mental mistakes and then recover from them and be what he calls one-timers. And, it's tough, man. I mean, it's a lot being thrown at them at one time. But you know what? That's what they're there to do, is to play football, and Jake included. They got a long ways to go. And I think our linebackers, right now, Rob, Coach Van Gorder didn't mince any words. There's a long ways to go, and that includes Jake. And they got to work, and they got to get it every day, because we got to be ready to play in 3 weeks.
Real quick, Jeff, I was going to ask you, I was asked this on a show earlier today, and that was, how receptive have these players been to Van Gorder and the fact that he can get a little loud, he can get in your face, and maybe his style versus Roof, who could be, I think, more subtle at times. Real quick, what do you think their reaction has been, or their reception has been to Van Gorder and just his style?
Haven't heard one single player complain about Brandon Van Gorder. Not the first complaint, and you just nailed it. Okay, and he's going out there, and he's as intense a coach as you'd ever want to be around. But he's not a demeaning coach. He's not running people down. He's not telling you you're no good. He's not negative. He's just intense. And I just think that competitors and players respond to that, Justin. And no matter how much they're beating them up, how much he's beating them up verbally and demanding of them, I've not heard a complaint. They all love him. They love his system. They're starting to see how it works, and I think it's going to pay great dividends for us. I talked to a lot of players. I was over there yesterday, watched practice, and you know what? I saw a lot of young guys with their eyes wide open, and they're ready to get better. I didn't see any negativity. I didn't see any heads hanging. Saw a lot of mistakes, but saw guys trying to get it corrected and please him and do what he's asking. And I mean, I don't know how much more you could say about a coach than he's riding your behind like it's like there's no tomorrow. Right. But yet you respect him and you want to please him. And I can't think of a better compliment.
Well, we're about to head out, man. When are you gonna head back up here and join us again? You're always welcome.
We'll do it soon, guys. And listen, good job on the show. I enjoy it. Didn't mean to take up so much time, but hey, War Eagle, and we'll see you soon.
We appreciate it, Jeff.
Appreciate
War Eagle.
Jeff.
See y'all. Bye-bye.
See you soon.